Let thy enemy be scattered. Let those that hate thee flee from before thee.
And I want to say this, prior to 18, let's go to 13. Now we in the teens. We were kings and queens at that age. And you said what determined you to be an adult? You said someone shared that. Now let's say this, a female body, sometimes it tapped into that cycle at 10. See what I'm saying?
That's the physical.
Yeah. That's the physical. Yeah.
There's the emotional.
You were talking about the mental.
There's
though.
the mental.
Yeah, you were talking about
there's
the mental.
The spiritual.
Yeah.
All of it has its time, and
yes.
it all doesn't happen at the same time.
So from the physical is between 10 and 13.
When the body goes through those puberty and that period of time where the body begins, the hormones, and it begins to change. But the mental ability.
The mental is going to take time.
Yeah,
it's going to take time because between 10 and 13, you can have a child.
And then the reality, too, is that even with the physical, because of all of the poisons that have been pumped into our bodies, women and boys did not develop as early as they now develop.
Yes.
It was later on in life. It might have been 16 or 17 or 18. But now it's 9, 10, and 11.
I'm going back to biblical times when we was kings and queens at 13. I'm going back into those times because... Methuselah lived to 969.
Okay.
And he eventually went with Yah. Like Enoch, he went with Yah.
Right.
And so that's the whole concept. And I've came to that realization and to that acceptance that I'm ready. Whenever my time is, I'm ready. Eternal life, I'm living on that mindset. I'm living in the mindset of eternal life. For me, that's just so beautiful. And the beautiful part about it is I have a spouse, right? Happy spouse, happy house. I have her, and she supports my endeavors. She supports, if I give her any inch of an idea, she about to run with that. She about to put a punctuate. She like, okay, so what time you doing this?
Right.
So where you getting the equipment from? So how much we need for this? So a part of that, man, wow.
Hallelujah.
Wow. I have tears of joy in my eyes, and this is how conversation is supposed to be presented, though. Whenever you contact any being, this is how conversation is supposed to be unfolding. It's supposed to be unfolding to the point where you don't even want to leave.
Right.
Because spirituality surpasses time and place. Time and place.
It does. But as we continue to move,
let's continue.
You've answered like 3 or 4 of the questions that I already had, just based on that first one. But so now what I would like to move to is what inspired you to begin Faith Over Fate Ministries? Share with us about the work that you do there.
Okay, thank you for that question. I really appreciate you asking that question. So, my wife and I were laying in the bed, just having some us time. And we watched a movie. And the name of that movie was Fate and Furious.
Faith and the Furious?
Yes.
Okay.
They had the Fast and the Furious.
Oh, one of those?
Yeah, it was one of those. And I said, baby, Fate and Furious. Sweetheart, fate. I said, what they mean? And then from there, we had a whole in-depth conversation. I say, they didn't say faith. So when I'm like, okay, so faith is, mixed, is materialized things. It's stuff it's ideas and stuff that's materialized already. Mm-hmm. That's what faith is.
That's what faith is.
Fate, F-A-T-E. So this microphone is fate. This picture is fate. The plant is fate. All of these things that you can see and touch is fate.
Okay.
Now, faith, F-A-I-T-H, is faith. That's something that's internal. It's a vibration. It's a frequency. It's an energy. It is the second highest synonym. The highest is loyalty.
Okay.
The right under that is faithfulness.
Okay.
So faith is the second highest synonym to compassion. Compassion is a verb, but it's the beginning. It's the seed of that whole path of your belief system.
Wow.
Compassion.
Okay.
And compassion is also a synonym to grace. Grace. That's an example for what grace is. If you have a fool in a car with you.
Okay.
What's a fool? A fool is someone who you share insight, wisdom with all the time. And he have the knowledge, but he still decide to behave the way he was behaving prior to that. That's a fool. So Yah save babies and fools. So with Yah saving that fool is Yah dwelling in the person that have the grace to give grace upon the fool.
Okay.
So Yah have grace upon the fool and babies. So when you see the baby trying to touch a hot something, you going to get that baby. That's the grace in your heart. The baby is a baby, but the fool got the knowledge. He's just not operating on the knowledge. So that's a form of
foolish.
He's being foolish. Yes. He's being foolish. We can't call him ignorant because ignorant is someone who don't have the knowledge.
Right.
You ignorant to knowledge. Ignorant is not a bad terminology. If you told me I was ignorant to a form of knowledge, I would say, I would reflect on that. I say, you're right. You 100% correct. I was ignorant to that. Why? Because I just didn't have that knowledge.
Right.
But what I'm going to do is I'm about to delve into that knowledge and I'm about to connect the unknown with the known.
And
so I can have it.
A fool.
And I will not be a fool when I obtain that knowledge. I'm going to begin to implement. I'm going to begin not to only implement, I'm going to begin to initiate. Initiate. That means come up with the idea.
Right.
I'm going to regulate and plan and then execute. So execution becomes a part of your lifestyle. So to be a chief executive officer, it means in order to be an officer, you first have to be a person who is operating in an office. And an office is a place where it's the root word. Office is the root word for official. It's connected to official. And an official means that you are organized. And organization means seder. So that seder, when you say, a lot of people just say beseder as in like it was constructed in us.
Right.
But we really don't know what the meaning of beseder. Are you beseder? Let me come to your home and see, are you beseder? Are you in order?
Right.
Is your office in order?
Right.
Is your shelf organized? Is your bookshelf organized? The same way you can go and just pull a book out of your library. It's the same way you're supposed to be able to pull a thought out of your mind. Same way. So Faith Over Faith Ministries developed when we delved into that concept. And I got so excited that the insight in me, it was just elated. It was a euphoric energy that I was dwelling on, levitating on. I'm so serious. My wife was in the room and I'm like, baby. She's like, what, honey? I'm like, baby. She's like, what? I'm like, baby. So faith and fate, you know what? Faith over fate. Faith over fate. So I went into back then we was living in a 47 square feet home. It was so small. Woo! My wife, she came to Israel. My Abba picked her up and my two sons up from the airport. At the time, they were 7 and 3. You know, in that year of 2016 and 2017, they turned 8 and 4. So they were the first children that I was a father to.
Right.
Because my wife blessed me with a package deal. You know, y'all blessed me with a package deal. He said, you ain't just getting one cell. I'm going to give you 3 cellulars.
3 for 1.
I'm giving you 3 cellulars. I'm giving you a wife. I'm giving you 2 sons. And when I addressed the father of their fathers, you know, I talked to both of their fathers. And I said, you know, one was like, you really going to take care of another man's son? I said, let me tell you something, brother. You know truth? Because he was like, where you at, shorty? Where you at? Come on, let's square up right now. And I'm like, brother, listen to me. I said, well, hold on, baby. because she was on the other line and I'm talking. I said, brother. He said, yeah, what up? I said, truth? That's what I said. And from there, that's once again bring you back to a scared man walking is a dead man walking. Mm-hmm. I had no idea how I would be able to construct synthesis, the proper synthesis with a behavior unlike unto him. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Somebody who lived that life.
Right.
I didn't live that life. Right. I lived the life. I was supposed to live a life of truth. So whatever truth I had in me, I utilized that truth. So brother, truth. I say anyone who is formed in the womb of my wife, I'm going to love and take care of and nourish like they're mine. Because this woman I love her. He didn't have nothing to say. Till this day, I may not hear from him, but his son is my son. Mm-hmm. His son and his son is my son. Because quiet as it's kept, and also as loud as it may seem to be, right? Biologically, I've been in their life longer than them. Right. Present, day to day.
Right.
Every day.
Hands on.
Yes. I'm talking about, so what trumps, spirit or physicality?
Right.
Well, let me tell you something. Wake up, everybody. Spirituality is the supreme path. None of this came into existence without the word. In the beginning was the word was with Yah, and the word is Yah. Mm-hmm. The word is Yah. See, words are spiritual particles inside of our body that we must learn to construct and combine and to create an impact with. That's important. Until we tap into that level of consciousness, then we're going to still be struggling, allowing our thoughts to limit us, allowing our shadow image to take hold of us, saying yes to everyone and everything when we don't really want to say yes.
Right.
Answering calls when we don't really want to answer the call at the moment. It's almost like you see somebody calling and you feel compelled to pick up because you see somebody calling.
Right.
You're not compelled to pick up because you intimidated or you afraid that when you do call them back, you don't have the ability to construct a healthy sentence and say, hey, what's going on? I seen a missed call, man. I'm just catching back up with you. What's going on? How you feeling?
Yeah, right.
Hit me with it. Once again, if you that frightened and that afraid to not pick up your phone when you see somebody calling, then they have full control over you.
Yeah,
they have external, the contributing factor have full control over you.
And again, you decided to allow that.
Yes.
Because you decided to live in fear.
Yes.
Now, I understand that it takes courage to get over fear, but you must face it.
Period.
And only you can make that choice.
Not just face it, get through it.
Walk
through it. Yeah, face it and walk through it.
Walk through it.
Walk through it.
It's a process.
Yes.
Like you say, you're a work in progress. We are all works in progress.
All work works.
Yeah.
It's going to work on you. It's going to work in you. It's going to work for you.
Or it can work against you.
Or it can work against you. But all work works.
Right.
People be telling me, I don't like talking to people. What do you mean you don't like talking to people? I don't like people. What do you mean you don't like people? Let me emphasize one thing to you. See, Yah ordained me, my soul, and I'm not afraid to use certain terminologies because Yah consecrated my soul. Why I say my soul? Because there are only two spirits vying for your soul. Mm-hmm. You can tell via observable worship. As you say, a frequency, an aura, an energy. You can see someone countenance dark as all get ups, very dark. And you can see someone's eyes that have the light. Mm-hmm. You can see it. And you can see that, yes, there are warlocks and there are witches around here. And they will attempt to exploit that light that's in you. Why? Because they are in a spiritual realm. And that's what they do. Right. They vying for souls. The whole war The Hebrew word for war is milchama. So the first word you're going to see there is melach, which is salt. They once used salt as a salary in the history. They used to pay you in salt. I learned that from one of my dear friends, Racayah. You know, I learned that from him. So, and then you're going to see, you see milcha, which is melach, and then you're going to see chama, lechem in there, which is bread. So our daily bread, when he say, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil, for thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory. In Yeshua HaMashiach's name I do pray. As it's saying, everything you say, pray in thy name. Mm-hmm. So I take that with me. I walk it and I live it. I walk it and I live it. And so whenever my peers come to me and say, brother, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you of what you're doing.
Right.
I long ago stopped blasting people WhatsApps and everything with stuff. And I said, my method is going to be live and be an example.
Right.
Dugma. I'm going to be the prototype where you see, and if you ask, I'm going to tell you. But the minute I get to saying I'm a believer in Yeshua, the Messiah, a lot of people turn away. And they can walk away, and it's okay. Because the same way he said it's okay, they rejected me as they rejected my father. So they're going to do the same to you. I'm walking this earth. I'm in this world, but I'm not of this world. And I know I am. I can communicate with every nationality walking around here. Everyone. But that don't mean that I have to compromise my belief system. It don't mean that I have to walk in shame. It don't mean that I need to allow my children to go to school when they're celebrating Purim in Beersheba.
Right.
It don't mean that I need to allow them to go to school on Yom Shishi so they can, in a kindergarten, they be, bringing in the Shabbat.
Right.
With the bread and the salt and the candles. That's not how I observe my Shabbat.
Right.
So I don't allow my daughters to go to school. I'm a man who then combated the Ministry of Education. My wife be like, honey, we're not taking this. I'm about to write this up in English. I need you to translate this into Hebrew because we ain't having this. I didn't come here to assimilate.
Right.
I came here to live according to Yah and to be in our land. This is our land. And like I said prior, that's why they hand in hand. The deal is we going to flood billions of dollars into Israel. That's off the tax money of the largest community there, African Americans, okay, which are Hebrew Israelites. Our identity, our land is here. And so in order to keep them off the land, their land, we need to keep them in the plantation. It's not enough for European men to ask me who I am. If I say I was born here, Sabari, they say, where your parents from? Okay, y'all want to go that deep? Let's go. I say my parents was born in America. They're not from America. They were born in America. Okay? Where in America? Look how deep they going.
Right.
Because now they want to know where at, in the South or in the North. Chicago, Detroit, or South. If you still in the South, if your parents is from Texas and Florida, the way my parents are from, then were born, not from, but born, then they like, okay, them are niggas. That's how they thinking. They house niggas. That's what they want to say. That's what they want to say. So you're not a threat. The minute you say Chicago and Detroit, they're going to get white rage. The reason why they're going to develop white rage is because the militant parties, Black Panther parties, Malcolm X. I remember hearing that cop saying, where did all that power, how did all that power get in that one person's hands? Malcolm X did this, and they started walking.
Ooh, yes.
When the brother came up to Malcolm X, and the security tried to move him off of him, he said, hold up. No, leave him alone. The brother is just thirsty for knowledge. He's just thirsty for knowledge. See, when you thirsty for knowledge, you experiencing what we call mental starvation. Your mind is starving. It's starving so bad. You know why it's starving? Because you've been rejected by all the people you was looking for love from.
Right.
Love is given. If they not giving you and they only taking from you, They lusting after you. They not loving you. They lusting after you. My wife taught me this in marriage way in the beginning. She said, honey. I say, what, baby? She said, honey, there's a distinct difference between lust and love.
Definitely.
She said, male, whole pathology is lustful. We not thinking about the pleasure of the woman. We only thinking about the pleasure of ours. And so we that fast. And the woman like, hold up. We supposed to be having a good time. Right, what about me? Right. And then you feeling like a little tension. You be like, what, baby? And wait. So I made it my business that I'm going to always focus on, yes. There was interaction where someone said they not in the business of appeasing people and pleasing people. They do what they want to do. Okay. So you for the people, but you ain't
ain't for the people if that's the position that you taking.
Yeah, you okay, or how you constructed it. First of all, to say that you a man and you doing what I want to do, and that okay, so you done fought for all these people, and you're not gonna say that you caring, pleasing is all inculcated. Love is all inculcated in care. A leadership position is inculcated in care. Care is capital C, capital A, capital R, capital E. You cannot tell me you only did that because you had a fetish for it. You cannot tell me that.
Right.
You cannot tell me you only did that because you was going to receive a psychological kick to your next level. Don't tell me that. That's why I don't get involved into politics.
Right. Politics.
Because I'm going to show up and I'm going to show up and I'm going to show all the way up. Right. I'm going to address names and I'm going to do this in a healthy way. You know what make it so receptive? You can hear my tonation. You can sense, you can feel my passion. You can feel that I care. You can feel and sense the authenticity of it. And I know this. I know. Because I remember when I was afraid. Now I know what it's like to be courageous. Right. In a healthy way, though.
Right.
Not arrogant, but confident.
But confident.
Confident simply means contigo, as in with, fidere, which is trust in Latin. So trust, faith, loyalty is the highest synonyms to compassion. That's what the Extension of Compassion Project is.
So yes, now go into the Extension of Compassion Project for us.
Well, see, it's just so beautiful because Faith Over Fate Ministries is the ministry that's ordained and consecrated by Yah, which I wrote the whole blueprint.
And you also have a website, right?
I did.
Okay.
I did. Now I'm on social media.
Okay.
Okay. Right. I do have a website on back of the CD that lead to the digital format of the message. Okay. Yes, I do.
All right. So let's make sure that I get all of that information so that I can include it in your
no problem.
Your presentation.
I will.
Everybody be able to find you.
I will.
Okay.
I will. So Faith Over Fate Ministries is an initiative that was ordained and consecrated by the Holy One of Israel. So that in itself, I express and I minister to the people. I minister to the people. The same way I'm expressing what I'm sharing with you now and with you all now is this is sacred truth. It's sacred. Like the Qumran, when it was hidden, or the Apocrypha, the Hasfarim, Hagnozim, it was removed so you won't tap into this degree of consciousness. It was removed on purpose. It say whatever you want. If you want to hide something from someone, where to put it?
Put it in a book.
All right, put it in a book. Okay, so I know, I don't just believe. I use the word belief because belief for me is a term that's a golden thread. It's like fuel to the vehicle.
Okay.
It's fuel to the vehicle. So I'm not going to eliminate terminologies that invested with so much power. I would not eliminate them. I'm going to use them.
Right.
So I know a lot of people saying I'm in the know. Well, that belief is that fuel that's going to get you going. And that faith, the substance of something you hope for, in the evidence of something unseen. Come on now. You're saying, you know how much power hope have? Hope, belief is that fuel that you put into the vehicle. Your body is the vehicle. And it's evidence that you don't see. That means don't depend on these carnal eyes. Right. Don't depend on these carnal eyes. Why didn't you go in there and do that? Because I didn't see it. Why didn't you go in? Because I didn't hear it. Well, what about the eyes that didn't see and the ears that didn't hear? That is your faith. And faith without works is dead. It's gone. So people are like, oh, I got faith. Okay, well, I know you telling me you got faith, but I don't see your works.
Where's the manifestation?
Where's the manifestation? Where's the implementation?
Right.
My wife was big on that. I know you hear a lot of my wife because it say, men, we were nothing. We were not good. It was not good for men to be alone. We were something, yes, we were something. We had the ability to define and to name all of the cattle and everything. All of the cattle, even named woman, because she came from men. We had that ability, but we got stuck in a chauvinistic mentality where we began to abuse that ability that we had. And we began to be oppressive to our women. Our women are not objects. They became objectified, okay, by the spirit of error. That's what I'm going to call it. Right. The spirit of error can be in a white person and a black person. It can be. It's a behavior. You know, it's so funny. It's so funny because I was operating in the Extension of Compassion Project occupation last night. And, you know, they was being condescending with some terminologies like, so sweet. Now, you know I'm 35 years of age. You don't use sweet on a grown man. Right. You know, it's how you, see, the gift of discernment, as Sardiv emphasized, and the revival of the Holy Spirit, long 2 hours plus class that he gave about the Holy Spirit. He emphasized the greatest gift in these latter days. You know what that is? The gift of discernment. The gift of discernment is your greatest weapon in these current days that we're in. These are the latter days. So they call me sweet. Now, instead of deflecting and allowing all of that to bottle up in here, I said, okay, I'm going to give her own medicine. I said, oh, no, you're sweet. You're so sweet. Now, she was about in her 50s, 60s. I'm going to buy this from you. How much you say? 80 shekels? Okay. Now, yeah, I'm going to say, yeah, that I offer for 80 shekels because, you know, 8 is infinity and 0 is good karma, and I want to keep that energy locked in. People be like, it's so expensive. I say, yes, it is expensive. Yakara valo yakar midai. But not too expensive.
You be having them going, I know.
And I say, and she's like, but why would I buy this and I don't know you and I didn't hear it? I say, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you why you buy this. I say, because connection, we connected psychologically, emotionally, feel emotionally, and execute it conversationally. And life and death exists in the power of the tongue. Therefore, I know you have value for words. And therefore, this is poetry, healing poetry. And I know you're going to cherish it and appreciate it. I know you're not looking to be entertained by music. But this right here is healing poetry. And in fact, my fine, beautiful wife at home and my 5 amazing children, they waiting for me at home. And so I'm determined to return our daily bread home tonight. Now, you can pay me in any format. Debit, credit, bit, cash, checks, whatever, PayPal, whatever you decide. Because I'm not going to allow any excuses to determine what must be done. And I'm focusing on connecting. And I do anticipate you empathizing and connecting with what I'm doing now, because as a dignified man, I know that I must maintain the harmony in the family, because only harmony in the families are going to create a nation, just as described in the Men of O's. So, yeah, it turns out to be that she was a lawyer.
Really?
Yep. And I told her, when we get, she like, so we have something in common. I said, okay, so how many cases did you win? She like, I'm not that type of lawyer. I said, so what do? You just do a lot of legislation, you know? Because me personally, I love litigating. When I learned and had a one-on-one conversation with one of these lawyers in Dizengoff Center Mall, he taught me the secret of litigation. He said litigation is the art of verbal judo.
The art of verbal judo.
Absolutely. And now you know in judo, that's a science or way of karate or mix of martial arts. And so words, it emphasizes in the Holy Scriptures, Proverbs 18 verse 21, that life and death exist in the power of the tongue. Even in the movie Hurricane with Denzel Washington, the man, he won by writing. He wrote his book and got out of jail. He said, this pen is far more stronger than a fist. It's far more stronger than a fist. Let me ask you something, Sister Racayah. When the people who depict as criminals because they violated this law of the land, not the laws of the Holy One of Israel, but the laws of the land. Because they use criminal when you break the law of a land or of a government, but they use sin when you trespass the laws of the Creator.
Creator, right.
Okay, so if they got into a physical altercation, domestic violence, whatever it is, who they fall on to get them out of prison?
Who do they call on?
Call on to get them out of prison. Lawyers.
Okay.
So lawyers, they studied the law of the land and the law of the state.
Right.
Okay, so with them being experts in constructing sentences based on the government law, they can bend it as much as they want to. So the commonality between lawyers and CPAs, certified public accountants, the world are afraid of them two people because they don't want to get audited by CPAs, IRS. Right. You see what I'm saying? Right. This one specializes in numbers and this one specializes in words. So let me tell you this. My wife is an expert in numbers. Woo! She's so good in numbers. And I'm gifted with the word. So the Yahweh's power in divine numerology, you're going to see Yuit, Hey, Vav, Hey, that equals to 26.
Okay.
Yuit is 10, Hey is 5, double, and Vav is 6. I was 26 when I got married, and my wife was 28 at the time. So 20 is Chaf, and 8 is Chet, and that's Koach. So Yahweh's power was alive. In 2016, Yahweh's power was alive. And 16 is that Yuit and that Vav, Yo. The reason why they say Yuit Aleph, Yuit Beit, right? Yuit Gimel, and then Yuit Dalit. They not about to put Yuit Hey or Yuit Vav. Right. What they gonna do is go from Yuit Dalit to Tet Vav to Tet Zion. Right. You know what? They don't want to emphasize Yo or Yo.
Right.
They don't. So in 2016, in the year of Yo, people become yo, what's up? If you knew what yo, what's up, you calling on yo all of your whole life. You've been calling on your whole life, but don't come and be culturally appropriating my culture, bro. Right. You know what I'm saying? Get them braids up out of your hair, girl. Get on over this. Nobody, no disrespect, but I love you, but to a distant. Let me take pride in my culture. Let me feel comfortable marrying my own kind.
Right.
Don't ask me, did you marry one of your own? What type of disrespect is that? I'm supposed to. I'm not supposed to mix. I'm supposed to be the one who preserving our seeds so that we can create legacy. A whole generation, generations ahead, generations to mentors to generations, not just a mentor to millions. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So my wife was really offended when one of these guys I grew up with, and he asked me, did I marry one of my own? And then, once again, I was allowing the disrespect because my voice wasn't cultivated yet at the end.
Right.
It wasn't. And a European woman say, you got a family? Is she white? Come on, man. Why would you ask me this?
The audacity to ask.
The audacity, the mental belittling, the whole objective is to belittle you. If you ever heard one of these Israelis here in Israel saying, "Hu echad mishelanu," they saying you're not a threat because you ain't got the Malcolm X energy. They saying you settled with the Dr. Martin Luther King energy. So we gonna teach about Dr. Martin Luther King in our schools, but we dare not put a picture or teach about Malcolm X in Israel.
Or the Black Panthers.
Or the Black Panther.
The real Black Panthers, not the movie.
Yeah, no, they don't want to. When he said the revolution will not be televised, it will not be televised. See, I caught myself not listening to Omer Adam or Eyal Golan or Moshe Peretz and Yuda Levi, after a while being married to my Harriet Tubman, my Asada Shakur in my home, who proudly, in a healthy way, not coming pride, coming shame pride, but confident pride, as in dignity pride. You see, she gonna put them Afro puffs in our children's hair.
Right.
My son gonna walk to school with his Afro. And I emphasize, don't touch my daughter's hair. Don't touch their hair.
Right.
I made sure I construct that mindset there. Don't be coming to touch on my baby like she's a baby doll.
Right.
You ain't doing that to the rest of these people. I got my daughter in gymnastics, and the guy was holding my daughter's hand. I did like this. and touched her face, and I did.
He knew.
And he like, Lama, I said, no, did it in a healthy way. Because if I don't address it, it's acceptance. Right. And I'm not accepting that.
Right.
I'm not accepting that. So my wife and I pride ourselves on asking our daughters, did someone touch you in the wrong place? Did someone touch you in your private places? Mm-hmm. We asked them that. They say no. And who helped you when you went to the restroom? We asked them everything. Right. One time it was a child just coming to just hug my daughter, just hug her. Okay, we the light, we attracting. I know that.
Right.
But let's create some healthy boundaries.
Right.
And so me, shoot, my wife be lighting that positive fire under my yashman. Ronnie! I'm like, baby, what? Baby, what is it? Baby, if you don't talk to me. And so I learned, all right, you're not paranoid. You ain't making a big deal. No, you own business, baby. Mm-hmm. And so I learned to address certain things. That was a sum up of what I do in the Extension of Compassion Project.
And I wanted to ask you some of the services and products that you offer through the Faith Over Fate Ministries and the project. Do you want to share the book that you have, the T-shirt, some of the different things that you have? I want you to explain them, so I'm going to hand them to you.
Okay.
And you can just explain them.
Okay. All right. So Faith Over Faith Ministries is really an authentic calling, vocation that I've accepted via the Creator. Okay. Okay. And I was just expressing truth, bringing people into insight, of themselves and of the truth. Right. Once I began to create products, okay, because prior to that, I was just writing a lot of documents and I was publishing them and I was just handing them to people for free.
Yes, you were.
I was just giving them to them for free. Mm-hmm. And when I got married, I did that for a period of time, but then I realized that a healthy balance must be created. So that's when I started studying about business administration, about economics and everything. Mm-hmm. So Faith Over Faith Ministries is really a multidisciplinary foundation. Now, when I gained the skill of graphic designing and I seen the power in it and how it was looking too professional, then I was like, I ain't gonna share nothing. I'm not sharing nothing online because I'm afraid, the authorities of the government is gonna come and get me. Right. So over the time I said, let me just go and start sharing. So for a period of time, I began to operate in the ministry. But once I began to develop products and take it to a higher level, I did not want to go to Mas Akhnasa, right, Internal Revenue Affairs, and to sign Faith Over Faith Ministries under that because it was too sacred. Right. So I used a more down-to-earth phrase, and that is my whole operation in that ministry, I was really extending compassion. So I titled it The Extension of Compassion Project. Okay. T.E.O.C.P. And so when I went there on my text ID, it's going to have the business name as T.E.O.C.P. So that's what gives me the ability to offer products and to even get paid in credit card formations.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the whole beauty in that.
Okay.
So I'm a registered, business, and I've been an entrepreneur for a minute.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. All right. And so this is one of the items that you have, right?
Yes, yes.
I'll show you all with your T-shirt,
Yes,
right?
I have the black one and I have a white one here as well.
Okay.
Yes.
And you have them in all sizes. You can order them in any size you want.
Yes,
Right?
I give people the permission to submit and order in any size that they would like, in any color they would like.
Okay, and explain this right here. This is what you have.
Okay, that's a tangible CD. The tangible CD was created to be a healthy and a beautiful souvenir for those who are not spiritual.
Okay.
Because some people might just say, you just talking. And they need something tangible in their hands.
Right.
And the amount of that financially is affordable than a T-shirt.
Right.
So I mass produce the CDs, self mass produce in my office.
Okay.
I produce 100 CDs per week, and I each order 2,000 CDs.
Okay.
They still have CD players. If you go to Mahsane Khashmal, if you go to Kravitz, if you go to Mac Store, if you go to these places, they have CD players.
Right.
It's about people being willing and obedient and disciplined to actually investing in what I'm offering to them in order to support what I'm offering. If people just stay stuck, I don't have a CD player, I don't have a CD player, I don't have a CD player, I know that, okay, they want to fight verbally, but I'm going to stay composed. I'm not going to be gaslit. I done already told them my reason of doing this, and I provide for my beautiful family. And I told them I do anticipate their connectivity and empathy. So I'm connecting with them based on a people-to-people ecology basis.
Okay.
Because if you come up to me, bro, and you tell me you got a wife and children and you not submitting to a struggling artist mindset, however, the total opposite, where you got up, you produced, you distributed, and now you are in the phase of exchanging some money for your value, bro, I'm giving you this money. Because you done told me that you happily married, you a father, and you not deciding to sit on the couch and wait for somebody to throw you a couple of bucks.
Right.
You came from a different city to this city, and you offering me something tangible, which I have the direct access to listen to it on Spotify, on YouTube Music, on YouTube.
So it is available digitally on those platforms.
In fact, you can purchase the digital file on Bandcamp. NadavBenIsrael.bandcamp.com. It's on the back of the
back of here. Okay,
Absolutely.
so I'll make sure that I add this in.
And not only that, I know a lot of people, they be like, wait, I want to stay in touch with this artist. So I had enough faith, confidence, and courage to place my personal number on the back of the CD.
Okay.
Some people might say, wait, you sold me an album, or you presented it as an album. Well, on Bandcamp, when they have the within, they have dash album. So I said, okay, if they calling it an album, I'm going to offer it as an album. I know we built a whole community based on a 45-second vision. So with this being 93 seconds and not 45 seconds, that's double. But the potency of the message is so impactful. I could not afford to combine it with all of the rest of my poetry. Right. This one in particularly is a whole session of healing. That alone is 1 minute and 37 seconds that when you apply minimum 9 times of listening to it, you're gonna be heaven on earth, heaven on earth. I'm telling you, he's talking about all of the pain that you was feeling, all of the inflammation that you was feeling, all of the tension that you was undergoing. I'm telling you, you're gonna feel like you levitating on earth. All of the, it's gonna just leave. I guarantee you that. And that's the power in that message. And that's what inspired me to offer T-shirts, create magnets for the people. Okay. As you see here, you have Within Healing Poetry.
Within Healing Poetry.
Yes, Within Healing Poetry. You know, these is magnets and everything from thought to reality. Yeah, hats. Yeah, because when you in that hot sun, you need something to put on your head.
Hey, you want me to hold these?
Yeah, you can. And this is the hat.
All right.
Yeah, within.
Within, I like that.
Yeah, it's very simple. You know, as y'all can see. You know, the whole concept is to look within, love within, and feel within.
Right.
Or you could put this on, put your T-shirt on, and you can go and take a stroll. And the minute you go, the first thing you're going to see on the title, you can pick up the T-shirt and see, Ima. It says on the front, you see that right there? Project Chemla ve'ahada. It say Besiua Yah, as in with the help of Yah. And the subtitle is Shamanu etabechi ubertzonenu lafsik et hake'ev.
Okay. So translate that for the listening audience.
Project Chemla ve'ahada. Chemla is compassion and ahada is sympathy. It's in a form of empathy. So, Shamanu etabechi ubertzonenu lafsik et hake'ev is a sentence where it says, we. Why I say we and not I? Because I knew, I had a foresight that I'm not alone and I'm not the only one who care to help and to extend compassion for the masses.
Right.
You care too. So you, that default is in this.
We do. I'm part of the we.
Yeah. Shamanu. Hivani, Shamanu etabechi. We heard the cry. What cry did we hear? We heard the spiritual cry. We heard the psychological cry. We heard the emotional cry. We heard the physical cry where tears literally come out of your eyes. We felt and we sensed the traumatic events that you've experienced. We know what it's like to be in that shadow image, lacking the courage to break the mask of shame because you're afraid of something or someone, of how they may think or feel about you for having the courage and the fortitude to express yourself. So our objective is to break you out of that prison. So that's what this is. Last but not least, I just said to help you break you out of that prison. You can hold this book up, Iman.
Absolutely.
So that book is The Drama of the Gifted Child. It is written by Alice Miller. The former title is Prisoners of Childhood. See, we 30, we 40, we 60, we 70, we 80, and we still in the prison of childhood. What does that mean? That's disappointing grown-ups. See, you got an OG versus a DG. You know, it's this rapper named D1, DEE-1.
Okay.
And the brother got a message about the OGs and the DGs.
Is that the brother with the locks?
Locks, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
I've seen some of his music
Absolutely.
Okay.
And so he's expressing, I said, man, if I get in touch with this brother and just let him know that Christ, he already know that Christ is a black man, but if I just change them terminologies to Yeshua, Yeshua, as in Yah is he who shall save, versus the Jesus and everything, we gonna be in good, man. I said that to myself.
Right.
When I listen to artists, I'm listening to them intentively.
Right.
So I can extend compassion to them and help them via Faith Over Fate Ministries. That is my assignment, my vocation, and my mission and division. That's what it's for. That's the honor I had with young up-and-coming rapper Bali Shag. Bali Shag is an Ethiopian rapper who you've probably seen him on my TikTok. He's from Netanya, born in Netanya, and he had created a music video with Ben Shachar. Okay. Yeah, from Dimona to Netanya. And so I heard his cry and his pain, and I said, brother, if you learn to rap, blini bulpe, blilinabilitape, without profanity, brother, you are gonna be unstoppable. And he said, guys, I don't know what y'all. He said, this is what he said about me. He said, look, this brother Nadav in Israel, he got real merch. He like a young hustler, a hustler to the T, because he put out 100 shekel bill, gave it for my CD in Tel Aviv, you know. Right. And we just got out, I took my tripod out, and we started creating a live video on TikTok. And man, I created an impact on a brother's life. That's what it is. Came across a lot of Israeli artists in Tel Aviv. They got a series called Mitum Temet. She purchased the CD. They got another man that was operating in Asfur or in Borer. He bought the Sent Me Bit. Michael Lewis, former model and actor, he bought the T-shirt and the CD.
Okay.
See, and a biologist bought the CD and everything. And once again, someone I told you, I went up to that guy, said, if it ain't directed, if it ain't respected, is what my wife taught me, and everything is about energy. And so with that being said, before I continue my journey, I want you to buy this album.
Right.
Like, I'm going to buy it. Now, he put out a wad of money, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I didn't even tell him how much it cost.
Right.
Because he didn't ask. And he just put 3 bills in my hand. I go and I see 2 blue bills and a gold bill. And I say, man, y'all blessed. Y'all blessed. Because you connected with the people. You connected with the people. Even now, as I'm doing this and I return home to my queen, take my daughter to gymnastics and do what I need to do as a father and a husband, and then after that go to work, I embrace it. I embrace every step of the way. And so that's the challenge I'm giving the young brothers. Embrace it. Embrace it. Love on your wife. Love your wife. Embrace all of the challenges. Respect her to be a part of the team. She is a part of the team. Don't belittle her. Don't be condescending to her. And man, put her on a pedestal. What do you have to lose? Put her on a pedestal. What do you have to lose? You telling me you got something to lose if you put her on a pedestal? You got some respect to lose from your quote unquote bros? Are you kidding me? Your bros ain't cooking for you. Your bros ain't making up the bed. Your bros ain't increasing that oxytocin unless otherwise they are. Come on, man. But in respect, that's what I have to say. That's what I have to say.
Okay.
Well,
I mean, each time I ask a question, you answer 3 or 4 questions. So I'm just jumping through here.
Go ahead. Do you?
I'm just jumping through here and
so,
skipping through.
Yeah, so T.E.O.C.P is our registered business. We are capable of offering seminars, lectures. If you have the venue and you have 10 or more people, I have a fee, that I present. It's all constructed. Okay. You're more than welcome to call on my services.
Okay, absolutely.
One-on-one consultations. I accept PayPal, Bit, all of that, all of the type. So, and am I confidential and keep your information classified? Absolutely, absolutely. Do I have the mental capacity to listen to your story? Absolutely. Am I relatable? Absolutely, because I've been through stuff myself.
Right. So, and that makes a difference.
Yes.
It definitely makes a difference.
Yes.
So I have 2 more questions because you've covered so much of what I had down. So I'm going to ask you, skipping to the wrapping up session.
Okay, respect.
What lessons or takeaways have you received from being a part of this experience, this whole experience, the kingdom experience, the life experience? What are some of the lessons or takeaways that you have received that you would share with someone else?
One of the lessons that I've took with me was I realized that what's known to our generation as the kingdom of Yah is not the kingdom of Yah. My father put it in simple terms, which made me take a step forward in my life. I was about to say back, but I said forward deliberately.
Right.
A step forward in my life and to be confident in my competence and not to weaponize my incompetence. He put it in a simple term. He said, we are organization.
We are an organization.
Yes.
Wow.
When he let me know that is an organization. Oh, okay, it's cool then. I'm cool. I ain't got nothing to fight for no more. You're an organization. And an organization, you're running it like a business. And so I can respect that. You're an organization. So now let's release, let's free our generation from the mindset that you are in something that's bigger than an organization. Because the kingdom of Yah is a personal relationship with Yah. It's knowing Yah, it's knowing the statutes and the commandments, knowing how to operate in compassion. Not just compassion, which is empathy to others. If you have it for others, it's called empathy. It's important to have it for yourself. Self-compassion. Self-compassion is going to have you remove yourself from the shadow image into your true sovereignty. It's going to give you that true courage to express yourself. That's what it's going to give you. So that's one of the lessons I've took with me and I've learned is that what's in the moment is an organization. You was born in an organization. However, coming in is a form of initiating. However, one of the ministers even called it a fraternity. Woof. Wow. That term, you got to listen to terminologies.
Right.
You know, you must listen to it. You have sororities and fraternities.
Right.
I'm not in no fraternity. I'm not in no sorority. And I'm not in that. I am a part of the highest institution that was consecrated and sacred and anointed by Yah, which is marriage. That's the organization I'm in.
Okay.
And so nothing is bigger than a program. You feel me?
Right.
Nothing is bigger than a program. Right. As long as I'm taking care of my wife, I encourage you young brothers that's coming up and up to commit to a woman. One woman, not 7. One woman. The reason why I say one woman is because in the beginning, it wasn't so. 7 women's taking hold to a man in the book of Isaiah, because this is what these brothers going to try to present to you, and they're going to try to use male privilege and chauvinism in order to oppress your man so that you won't ask them no questions. If you as a woman going to ask to read it in full context, they don't want you to read it in full context, the whole chapter. They only want to present that verse to you. Mm-hmm. Reading it in full context, right, is going to bring you to the mindset and to the realization that them women who are taking hold to one man, they already was disobedient to the statutes of commandments of Yah. So therefore, that is a form of punishment. They now didn't have the honor and the blessing to be blessed with their own husband. So they took hold to a man who already have women, wives already. They made an exception. That was an he said they don't take hold to. He ain't even making an exception. He said what was going to happen. Because you did thus and thus and thus, in these days and times, 7 women is going to take hold to one man. And so when I seen that, I said, wow, truth is truth. And it makes sense. Do the man have the spiritual, psychological, emotional capacity to offer to 7 women? I haven't seen it yet in my life. I haven't. I seen a lot of divorcees. I did. Because a man don't want to let go of his ego. His ego simply means that he defines himself as God, and the true living God is subjective in their opinion, and so they can deceive the masses and just operate in whatever way they want. That means the perception of deception. How can you truly love your woman? How can you?
That's because there's a misunderstood understanding of love in the world, period.
Yeah.
Love is associated with the white wedding dress. Love is associated with the this, the that. It's programmed. We've been institutionalized to accept love and not really understanding what truthful love really is.
Love is given. Love is an action word, and in order to see the action word in reality is called given. Because given is, see, in Hebrew you have ahava, and hav, the 2 letters in the middle, is hav, as in heveti, as in lahavi.
To bring, to give.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's true love.
And to give.
Yeah, to give is love.
Give starts with self as well.
Yeah, because you're giving yourself.
That balance. You give to yourself, you give to others.
Yes.
And you give to the Creator, and you receive from the Creator.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Okay, we got one more for you. Do you have any goals, dreams, visions, etc., that you have not accomplished that you would like to accomplish?
I like that question. So my goals, visions, and everything is to continue to do what I'm doing. Okay. All right. So my goal and my vision is the continuation of this ministry that Yah ordained me to embark upon. Right. The continuation, because if I wouldn't set that as a goal, right, then I can become stagnated.
Right.
And to always acknowledge the greatness in the Creator for giving me this pathway to be on. So gratitude is my attitude.
Gratitude
is my attitude. But that's my attitude. Because in Hebrew you have the word regesh, which is emotion or feeling. Now regesh is the same letters that you use for two different paths, coming from the same three letters.
Okay.
One path is garesh, as in to deport or to dismiss. Mm-hmm. And the other one is gasher, which is to bridge and to connect. So a lot of lawyers, they also operate in gishur. So they not only in law, they also in gishur, nisuim and everything.
Right.
So I had the blessing to counsel young couples, the blessing to counsel young brothers in their 20s and their 30s. You know, their names are classified. But I had the blessing and the honor for them to confide in me, not just young ones. I had the blessing and honor for sisters and brothers in their 60s and 50s, in their 70s, confide in me. You know, I had the blessing and the honor, as in to have a conversation with Prince ICO for like 3 hours. 3 hours, and I'm looking at my WhatsApp, 3 hours, what? And like, he was so happy and so elated and so comfortable to have the conversation with me. He wanted to combine Faith Over Faith Institute, because I've also created Faith Over Faith Institute, Faith Over Faith Enterprise, and I just haven't got everything patent done.
Right.
But that's my goal, is creating an empire, an enterprise, a franchise. See, everything that the European man seized from us at the time, or we allowed to be seized from us due to our disobedience, since we disconnected ourselves from Yah, he cut us off. You know, he cut us off. He said, since you cut me off, I'm going to cut you off.
Right.
So that's called accountability. So since that happened, the weapon of disenfranchisement was created. What is the weapon of disenfranchisement? That was the European woman to the black man. So they can disenfranchise the black union. And then they start bringing up allegations about the black man doing so-and-so to the European woman. And that was the pinnacle of when the Europeans came to burn down the whole Black Wall Street.
Right. Every one of the Wall Streets that was established.
So that's what's going on. It's okay for you to emphasize that you just came into the acceptance, right? Due to knowing all of the history, but your history unfold your destiny. Mm-hmm. So it's okay to maintain principles and morals and values so that you can at least know how to engage. Right. So you can, what you're saying is you may give them a conversation, but you still ain't gonna forget what was done. You see what I'm saying?
I know you.
Prior to that, you wasn't gonna give them no conversation like, hey, excuse me.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So I can give some conversation, but that don't mean that I'm docile.
Right.
That don't mean that I'm acceptance of you being culturally appropriating.
Right.
That don't mean that I'm 100% for you marrying my sister and
Right.
for my brother marrying you.
Right.
No, I don't, because I know beyond a shadow of the doubt that if you married to a European woman, you married to the European man. They created this system.
Right. Right.
They
So
created
in
this
essence,
system.
what you're talking about is really setting boundaries.
Healthy boundaries.
Healthy boundaries.
Yes.
A conversation, yes.
Like the sister emphasized. If every nationality took dignity in their nationality, you won't be offended in us taking dignity in our nationality.
You know what? You can be offended. I don't really care. That's not my issue.
Yes, that's not your issue.
That's not my business.
It's
that's
not.
on you.
Yeah, exactly. That belongs to you.
That belongs to you,
Yes.
and you keep that.
Yes, that's
because
your emotion.
I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
Exactly. You feel
There
it?
is nothing wrong with, they say, sometimes in some organizations in the U.S., they say B1, black first.
Yes.
Black
You remember
first.
FUBU? FUBU shoes and clothes.
I think
apparel.
I just saw that the other day.
For us, by us.
Yeah,
For us, by us.
Yeah.
I never came into that realization. So when my wife brought that up, like, man, FUBUs.
And
man.
I just saw that the other day. I didn't know anything about it.
I seen some in Walmart. I seen some in Walmart when I was in the States, when I visited Texas. You know, my trip there was just so beautiful. They took
for the family reunion.
Absolutely.
The picture was beautiful. I saw the picture with your
got
elbow with all of the yellow
4,000 acres.
Wow.
The Boy family got 4,000 acres.
4,000 acres of land.
Absolutely.
Wow. We could all move there.
I know. But the thing in East Texas, the thing is, it is a sundown state. I'm emphasizing on it. It's a sundown state. And Like you said, that's their emotions. I'm expressing truth. That's their emotions. It's a sundown state. I won't take too much pride in moving back onto the plantation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
yeah.
I'm free.
Yeah.
I'm free, and I know, and I guess
I'm not getting ready to be bound. I'm not getting ready to be controlled.
No.
And I'm not going in at sundown.
Yeah.
So no, that's not.
I'm here. I'm here. In fact, I removed my slave master name. Mm-hmm. I paid 185 shekels in Ministry of Interior to remove the slave master name. So when our daughters was born, they received the name Israel as their last name. You know, it cost 185. I had no reason to change Nadav ben Israel, which is my private name.
Right.
And all of our names is a first name coupled with the middle name, who it's not a middle name. It's all of our name have Ba Israel and Ben Israel on the end of it. Okay, that's our name. There's no end. That's just our name.
Right.
But we really don't take pride in saying I'm Yehonatan ben Israel or Maskila bat Israel.
Right.
But I'm Nadav ben Israel. That's my full private name. My last name is Israel, not B-O-I-D.
Right.
Boyd simply is a blonde-haired person. That's all it is.
Right.
And especially if they depict that as the standard of beauty, blonde hair and blue eyes, why wouldn't I remove that? When I got an African queen next to me, why wouldn't I remove that?
When you are an African king yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Y'all made me the king of my thing.
You do not look blonde-haired and blue-eyed.
I'm not, and I don't need it. You know, and the beauty and the power to define is saying, listen, if you whipped us, right? If we read a book, if we wrote our name in the soil, wow, we got whoopings for that? Mm-hmm. I'm about to drink these books. I'm about to be I'm about to become the greatest legislator ever. Right. And then if you took power from me, they say, in one of them movies, they said, why aren't they reading? He said, why don't you let them read? He said, well, honey, because if they begin to read, they're going to start reflecting on things. And when they begin to reflect, they're going to start thinking that they can change things. And when they start changing things, you know, we're going to come together. When we come together, we're going to be safe. When we're safe, then we united and we one and we powerful. So anywhere you see 2 of us, 3 of us come, they got to make it their business to gang stalk us. That's what it's called, gang stalking. That's what it's called. It's real. It's not no myth. It's not science rocket. It's real. If I get on a train right now and sit in them 4 queues where it's a section to yourself, somebody is going to... It happened yesterday. He came just sit right there. How you going to come and sit right there that uncomfortable? You ain't even want to come in here. You sit right there. Mm-hmm. Just to, make sure I keep him neutralized. Mm-hmm. He might try to do a live video. I want to make sure this person is neutralized. Or how about we get on the train, we get on the bus, and whoever was talking amongst themselves, European, or melanin recessive people, okay? They talking the whole way. How about you do something? Cut your music on. Your music and make it the exact volume that they tone is on. Mm-hmm. And see what they gonna tell you. They gonna definitely tell you something. You know what?
Right.
Because superior complex versus inferior complex. They believe that they have the power to define, because as the man told me on the train as we was riding, I said, let me lagdir. He said, lagadol etakatan. I said, okay. So who the big one, who the small one? I constructed this. I said, so the big one is inside of me and the little one is outside of me. So therefore I define who I am. He thought I was going to put it on him. Uh-huh. Nah, man, you don't define me. You don't define me. And the guy, he was like, oh. Now, before I got off that train, I said, because he was like, you look like an artist, a musician. Okay, I said, well, have you heard of this saying? Nigga sing, nigga jump, nigga dance, or nigga die? I said, y'all always want to say, what? אתם שרים כל כך טוב, אתם מקהילת העברים, איזה זמרים, איזה מוכשרים אתם. What? But when did you hear them say that we scholars? When did you hear them say that we librarians? When did you hear them say that we are educators, dedicators? When? When did you hear them say that we are poets? When?
Never.
Never. They never gonna give you that label. And when you begin to articulate yourself in Hebrew, such furnished Hebrew, העברית שלך ברמה כה גבוהה, איך היא כל כך מרועטת? יש לך עברית תנ"כית, יש לך עברית ספרותית. אוקיי, אז מה ציפיתם ממני? מה ציפיתם לשמוע? אבל שלך גם מרועד. אתה גם דובר עברית מעולה. So if you speak Hebrew this beautiful, what make you assume that I can't do it? What make you assume that I'm from somewhere else? What make you assume that this location is supposed to be predominantly European or white? Come on, man. Y'all know that we are sitting on the African tectonic plate. Come on, man. Y'all know this ain't no Middle East. We in Africa, Northeast Africa. We in Northeast Eden, for a better word. We in paradise. Come on. And so when they hearing this coming from me, it's like, wow. Come on, let's steal one of his scooters. He stole one of my scooters. Spent about $8,500 on it.
Wow.
Stole one of my scooters. I bought another one after a couple of years. Let's tell him he can't lock it, his new one on the train. All right, so if not, we gonna ban him from the train. All right, so I don't lock it, I just sit back. But Counterintelligence Program Act been on me for the longest.
Say that again.
Counterintelligence Program Act that was established and initiated by J. Edgar Hoover.
Okay.
It's been with me for the longest. Mm-hmm. The whole objective is to present the rise of a black Messiah. It could be man or female. And so I know that studying the rules of engagement is imperative for me to study. I cannot go out there with only one book on my shelf. So yes, I have hundreds of books in my library. Prior to being in school, I didn't have a great value on education. But my wife said, nah. You say they ain't got to do their homework. She was, oh, yes, they better. And then I had to help them do their homework because she didn't speak the language Hebrew. Mm-hmm. So do you know what challenges I had to rise up to, accept, and then rise to the occasions in order to still be blessed with my queen? I had to walk into a king's position. You too needy. You gotta learn what you go out there waiting for to see. What did you go out there to see? Nah, it's gonna be a lonely road on the path to righteousness. Everybody can walk with you on this journey.
Right.
So I know I'm not about to be in a parliament unless I'm in there and a lot of emotions get, hurt and they got to allow it to burn. I'm just being real, though.
Right.
I'm just being so real. So, I mean, yes.
Well, I just want to say Toda Rabah to you, Ahk Nadav. I have thoroughly enjoyed our conversation today, our interaction, our exchange, and as we close out, to the listening audience, I pray that you all enjoyed today's episode as much as I enjoyed being here. And I will definitely share all of Ahk Nadav's information so that you all can reach out to him. And until next time, peace, love, blessings, and prosperity to you all.
Yachai.
Hallelujah.
Yachai.